Hi everybody, welcome back to the broadcast studio here at World Procurement Congress powered by SAP Ariba. I'm here with Patricia from Nestle. Fantastic that you're able to join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, great to be here.
And we're going to talk basically just some stuff about procurement and stuff that's going on right now and what it means to you and broader procurement people as well. So as you know, every year we do a study with The Economist and this year, 2,300 responses, which is, we were pretty happy that was the number. Last year, it stated, or it found that the procurement insights, or insights that procurement bring to the business, were valued and were essential for business to be successful. But the collaboration between procurement and the rest of the business, not so good. This year, the study found that actually the insights were even more impactful, and collaboration had jumped 25%. So my question to you is, what on earth has happened in the last 12 months that's made the collaboration number from the rest of the C-suite, from the rest of the business, feel so much better? What have procurement been doing?
Well, I think that this must be necessity is the mother of invention. We have been through so much in the last few years. So 2020, 2021, 22, all that COVID stuff. Then we had all that supply chain stuff. Then we have inflation. And I think when you layer those three things in particular on top of each other, a couple things. One is the businesses needed more information and more actionable information from procurement. So it made procurement teams, number one, it gave them a seat at the table, but then it made them pull their chair up to the table because they needed the businesses to be engaged and to work together so that we could accomplish what we needed to accomplish through all of that. Yeah. And I think, the year before probably didn't show because it was an iterative process. It wasn't like all that happened and then all of a sudden procurement teams were perfect and all of a sudden the business collaboration was perfect. I think it builds on itself, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that actually continued to improve as we face all of the things that are going on now, the geopolitical tensions and all of these other things going forward. I think that the groundwork has been laid now to make sure that collaboration continues.
Let me just touch on the disruptions piece. Yeah. So there's been an amount of disruptions that's been incredible over the last few years. What impacts do you think, have you felt, has changed your strategies, has changed your priorities? What are you doing differently now than you were 3 years ago? And what do you think is still to come? Not in terms of what disruptions, because we don't know, but what the changes are for your strategies and your strategic priorities?
Yeah. So from a strategy perspective, I would say that it hasn't changed a lot for us. I think, when I think about what defines great business, it's profit growth and capital efficiency. And those have been the definitions of business success for decades. The same things that happen in procurement. What defines good procurement? It's best cost, it's best supply of whatever it is that you're purchasing. It's now become, and I think this is a new piece, best care for the planet, however you want to define that. And I think this is one of the areas where we probably have seen strategy change a lot. And then the talent piece that enables all of the rest of that to happen. What does it mean going forward? I think what it means is we are trying to be more focused on setting up robust systems and robust processes that are both proactive and reactive in the areas of risk. And it doesn't matter, honestly, it doesn't really matter whether you can't get supply because a factory burned down, you can't get supply because a port is closed, you can't get supply because of a disease, you can't get supply because of weather. All of those reasons for not getting the supply really don't matter. The fact is you can't get supply. Yeah. So what's your solution? So I think it helped us to kind of broaden our perspective of what can cause things. And instead of trying to have a crystal ball, which, listen, I come from a commodities background, so my whole life has been, what are the markets going to do? What's going to happen to the weather next year? Are the cows feeling good this year? I think it's really changed and shifted our focus away from, listen, we still crystal ball, but it's not so much about the crystal ball as it is about the risk and opportunity management. So you have to know things are going to happen. And then what are your processes around what will you do if any one of those things happens? Not necessarily the factory burns down, but okay, result is I can't get supply. What am I going to do?
So scenario planning is
I think that probably has become more important in this current context. And to be clear, we're going through a lot right now, but you and I are both at an age, I will speak for me, not
Yep.
necessarily for you, that we have seen this world before.
Yeah.
This is not new. It feels dramatic, but really, we've seen this movie
Yep.
before. Maybe the characters are different. Maybe a little bit of the plot is different. Maybe some of the movies are blended together into one movie now. But it's basically the same movie.
I was saying to somebody that I think scenario planning was a lost art.
Yes.
I think globalization, whilst broadly and from a trade perspective is a great thing, what it has done is it's taken people away from thinking, what if that goes wrong? What am I going to do? How am I going to build in some resiliency? Because there was always another supplier.
Yeah.
I remember for the Millennium Bug, the amount of scenario planning we did, I had generators coming on site in
Correct.
case there was no... Yep,
Same for me. Same for me.
And the bit that I say to people is, go into groups and discuss. If we hadn't have done those things, would the Millennium Bug have been anything, or was it all just? And you can't answer that question.
You don't know what could have been.
But the exercise
Exactly.
in scenario planning was fantastic.
Yeah, I think as much as the teen years were relatively easy for those of us in procurement. I mean, remember the days when you were going to consolidate all of your purchases into one supplier because you were going to leverage the cost out of them and it was going to be the best thing you'd ever done. Because in the teen years, we had very little market volatility. We had very little supply risk. If you look at commodity markets, the world I live in, I mean, it was basically just a little bumpy line that was sort of sideways. And I think that decade, particularly for people who are new to business or new to procurement, maybe they didn't start their career until like the mid-teens, like in 2015, 16. For them, this is dramatic.
Yeah.
But honestly, to me, that was the unusual period, not now.
Yeah, the stability was unusual.
Stability was unusual.
I think that the constant disruption, I heard Nandini say perma-disruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of probably what we grew up with, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Patricia, that's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Really do appreciate it.
Great.
And with that, we're going to end this session, and we'll be back very shortly. So join us back in the broadcast studio then.